We were back in the cinema this week, Hori.
We were. It's felt like a while.
It has. Um, I think it's fair to say the Marvels was a project neither of us expected loads from,
No.
but we were cautiously optimistic it would be fun.
Yes.
Um,
I would agree with
I
that.
think we can safely say it was fun.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
Um, Amon Delaney is very quickly becoming one of my favorite parts of the MCU. For me, she seemed to steal every scene she was in with just her
Mm.
raw enthusiasm of being there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and while I don't want to dwell on it too much, there are some idiots on the internet who need to be addressed while we talk about this.
Yeah.
And I mean, we knew it was going to happen just because of the
Oh,
nature of it
yeah.
being four female leads of multiple different ethnicities.
Yeah.
But there are some valid complaints, but I think they're only being made because of the general negative reaction to the film, which I do think is unfounded.
Yes.
Do I think the story itself is phenomenal? I think it's about average,
Yeah.
but the interaction between all of the characters is some of the best we've had for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The action set pieces are really solid.
Yeah.
And what seemed like a marketing gimmick in the position swapping when using their powers
Mm.
was actually, I think, a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
And it was used really well.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I'm going to start with one of the criticisms I had that they need to be slapped down like a moron.
Okay.
Someone claimed that the reason no one likes Captain Marvel and Brie Larson is
Okay.
because she is just another boring, cold hearted, ruthless female superhero. Just like this emotionless. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
What?
In this film, we saw her go from being someone who's put themselves in a self imposed isolation
Yeah.
to bothering to take the time to get to know Kamala, even though she knows Kamala's a super fan just based on her reaction.
Mm.
We got to see her dance and sing and respect another planet's culture,
Mm-hmm.
which was an awesome set piece, by the way.
Yeah.
And we got to watch her run around chasing baby Flurkins.
Yeah.
What part of this makes you look at that and go, that is a cold, unfeeling woman?
Well,
No, she was
also,
a well rounded character.
don't forget as well, like, she also dealt with reconnecting with her niece, essentially,
Yeah. And
and having to
dealing with
deal
the
with,
remorse.
yeah,
Yeah.
the situation there. Like, to say that she's just cold-hearted, nothing, like, no emotion, it's like, you clearly haven't your only perception and clearly all you've watched is Miss Marvel, like, as, Captain Marvel showing up in Endgame. That's your whole
Yeah.
perception of her. Because, yeah, sure, she just shows up, she doesn't say much, and she destroys a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But, like, no,
I
this
think
adds to the character for sure.
out of all superhero projects that have a lot of a large female cast or a larger female cast,
Mm.
this is probably one of the first that I can think of off the top of my head where they don't just go, all the women are super powerful and they're all just great at everything and yay women. And that's like sometimes what writers do. They're just like, I don't know how to write women, so I'm just going to make them
Mm.
awesome at everything because then everyone should just be happy. Instead, they were like, no, Kamala is there because she has to be,
Mhm.
but she's got an enthusiasm and she's going to try really hard and she's obsessed with the idea of being a superhero, so she's gonna be the moral compass.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, you're a soldier, you're a soldier, you're gonna do what soldiers should do. I'm a superhero, I'm gonna act like a superhero.
Yeah.
Then you have Captain Marvel, who's obviously incredibly powerful. She feels
Mhm.
a lot of responsibility for what's going on because she did inadvertently cause the situation.
Yep.
Um, but she's not that intelligent. She doesn't understand the mechanical side of everything. She doesn't understand how to fix it. She doesn't understand all of this science.
Mhm.
She is just the leader and she's powerful because that's what she knows how to do.
Yeah.
And then you've got Monica, who is the very intelligent one who understands the science behind it all and has ideas on how to fix it.
And
And
doesn't want to be a superhero.
yeah, she doesn't. She wants to just be a good soldier. She accidentally got powers while doing a fucking exploration mission into this
Yeah.
weird hex thing. She just wanted. She just wanted to go to space.
Yeah.
But she came back to her mother being dead after the blip, and they don't send people to space anymore. They send them to weird witch bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
this is like when you think about it like that. I'm not saying it's perfect female writing because I don't know how to write a female
yeah.
because I'm not a writer and I'm not going to pretend I know how to write a woman's experience.
Yeah.
What I will say is the writers of this made a much larger effort to not
Mm.
just go woman action hero 2 and woman action hero 3. They kept their identities.
Yes. Kept their
Um
identities and wrote it in a way that they were a team that was forced together and showed like those interactions of how like the fact that Kamala is so, oh my god, we're a team, and the others are a bit like, we don't want a team, but Carol kind of does miss having a team, and then it's like they bring the best out of each other in the end, and it shows that development,
yeah,
and we get additional, like we get some more depth to what's been going on with Carol and where she's been. We find out more about Monica Rambeau. Obviously, we've recently had Miss Marvel, so she's like still pretty fresh to everyone. Um, and we get a bit like, in a way, we get to see a bit more of like what's going on with Saber, what
yeah.
Nick Fury's
This
up
is
to.
the first real interaction we've had with Saber.
Hmm. And
Um
honestly, like yeah, like you said, the story wasn't anything special, but I think the character development we got from those three and set up more for those characters, I thought was really good, and like there was so many fun interactions. Like
in
them,
in re-
well,
in reality though, is the story any worse than Guardians 1?
yeah, no, I
Like,
wouldn't.
at a
The
core
story's not
level, yeah.
terrible.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, we can sit here and we can validly say the story isn't a masterpiece. But if you look at a lot of other Marvel films that have been beloved,
Hmm.
none of them have this masterpiece of a story, really. They're all built off of the character interactions and everyone falling in love with the
Hmm.
characters. And I think that's what this film can excels at.
Yeah, the the scene of them figuring out the entangled powers. Also, that whole thing of like, well, I remember when we saw it and we were a bit like, this is weird. How are they gonna like explain them now being entangled? Like, what's the cause of this? Is that it? Like, they're gonna be stuck that way. I think it was very clever how they went about that. Um, this idea that that bangle has got more explanation now. We know what the fuck it is. It's not a link with the 10 rings. It's its own thing.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
ancient to the universe.
yeah, just by chance ended up in Kamala's arm. But yeah, that scene where they're figuring out the power, like them switching places and having fun with it, was such a good scene.
It
Uh,
is. It is a real. It's one of them scenes we actually don't get that often in films anymore. Because I think
mm,
for a long time everyone was like, "Oh, montage scenes are dumb." It's like, no, they're only dumb if you do it to show nothing of importance.
yeah,
But when you think of stuff like Rocky, which
yeah,
is famous for its montage scenes, they added something. It was about
mm-hmm,
showing the progression of him getting ready for the big fight.
yeah,
Whereas in this, it was like, no, this allows us to have the characters be all buddy buddy very quickly
mm-hmm,
and also explain why the entanglement isn't as big a problem for them now. Because you have that first action sequence right at the beginning of the film
yeah,
where it's a mess
yeah,
because they know none of them know what they're doing. They're just trying to all survive at the same time, and it's chaos.
mm-hmm,
So it's like, okay, well, we can't do that every time. So let's have them. We've got a quick minute and a half montage. It'll be a bit fun. There'll be a couple of laughs in it. It'll explain how the characters are all getting along a lot better now.
mm-hmm,
How Monica and Carol have got over their little issue. Why Kamala is calm around Carol now, and
mm-hmm,
why Kamala can hang out with Monica and they're like sister
yeah,
relationship. And it also allows them to tidy everything up. It was done so well,
mm-hmm,
and like I say, it was fun.
It was, yeah.
It kept the vibe up.
And
It was one of them scenes that I think idiots, and I don't use that word lightly, idiots will say was unnecessary, but it was
mhm.
extremely necessary.
Yeah, and also, like, they could have very easily done that scene, and then after that, they were perfect. Like, they were switching play,
Yeah,
but they actually kept it still a little sloppy and made it be like, yeah, okay, they've figured out how it works and got a better hang of it, but they're still gonna fuck up and switch when they don't actually mean to switch
yeah,
because there are situations where, like, Kamala was like, shit, I need to save these people. I'm gonna have to use my powers now, and then accidentally switches when she wasn't meant to. So
yeah,
there's like it added to their like trio energy and then a bit of coordination, but didn't make them this like amazing perfect team.
exactly.
But there was so many fun scenes. Like you said, the Carol chase it when she's talking to Nick and he's like, I need you to just get the cats. And she's like, you need me to herd the kittens. And he's like, yes. And she just suddenly becomes like big kid energy and just
Yeah.
runs after the way she runs after the
It
cats.
it's when they're running around sabering, you've just got your automated voice going off, just going, "Do not run. You will
Yeah.
be fine. Let the cats eat
Well,
you."
it was so because like obviously we know from like the trailer and stuff there was going to be kittens, so like it's set up there or sort of felt like just a marketing fun thing, but was so clever how they used it and like they set up and Kamala's mom's like, your cat's looking a bit chubby. Is it okay? And then we're obviously like, oh shit, the cat's pregnant, thinking it's just gonna have a litter of kittens. And then suddenly there's this like emergency, and it's like, oh, we found this weird bioweapon
Mhm.
that's been planted on the ship. This could be like enemies that have done this. And then suddenly it's like they're everywhere on the ship. And it's this realization of, oh, they're eggs. Oh, they're going to be the
So
kittens.
yeah, it's because it's like the way it was built into the story. It almost felt like it was part of the Kree's plan. So then when
Yeah.
you get the reveal of it's just kittens, you're like, "Oh my god, it's just the kittens."
And then you're
Um,
like, oh, there's just going to be kittens running around now. This is going to make things interesting. And then they're like, all of our escape pods have been knocked offline except for one. And there's this when they start realizing they can then use them to transport people, it's like, oh shit. This is a
Notice
very
how none of
funny.
like the named characters got eaten though. They were like, "No, let's just keep them all nice and safe and in
Oh,
shot."
yeah, it's like I was like, oh, they're just gonna eat all the crew, shove the kittens in a thing, and then they're gonna get on Carol's ship because there's only enough space for them. I was like, what a classic way. But yeah, they're fucking kittens eating all the crew. And then what I thought was funny is that all the crew were panicking except for that guy that was getting a pension help of Kamala's dad. He at the end just like holds his nose as he's
Yeah,
about to get eaten.
very, very good. I had a lot of fun. It's what I will say is, for better or worse, it's some of the most fun I've had going to see a Marvel film in a while. It
Yeah,
was a lot of fun.
yeah,
The It seems like the first time in a while that Samuel L. Jackson's loved playing Nick Fury.
yeah.
Like
He
he
had a
seemed
bit
to
of
have a
fun
lot of
again.
fun.
Yeah.
Um, Amon Delaney stole the show for me. She was phenomenal.
Hmm.
And knowing that the other actors, when they were unsure about how to proceed, would like ask her a question,
Hmm.
and that Amon Delaney is like the living embodiment of Kamala Khan,
Yeah.
brings it all to life. Seeing Brie Larson back on screen is great. We all know how great Brie Larson is, and she got so much unnecessary hate after
Hmm.
Captain Marvel. I was worried that she just wouldn't want to do it again, but
Yeah.
she was like, "Fuck that noise! I'm going to turn up and do a great job," and she did.
Hmm.
Getting more Monica Rambeau is always great. Like it just
Well, yeah. We haven't had Monica Rambeau since.
WandaVision.
Yeah. So we like it was just there's like set up, and then we've not heard anything. So now we've kind of got the payout. She's set
Yeah,
up with her powers properly. Also, I think is this now technically make Captain Marvel the first official MCU Disney princess, like the first
yes,
proper MCU because she is a princess.
yeah. Um, and while that scene, I will accept is unnecessary of her, like the dancing and the singing. I enjoy it because it's like one of the biggest complaints always when you deal with other planets. It's like, why does every other planet just look like Earth and everyone speaks English and it's the exact same? And they're like, fuck it. What's really different then? It's the musical planet. Everyone dances and sings. It's like, wait, why is he talking normally? It's like, oh, he's bilingual. Brilliant.
Yeah, and I was like the young Kook, I think is how you say his name. But like he is obviously a K-pop star. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
right. I didn't recognize him.
I'm pretty
I'm not
sure.
a big K-popper.
Neither am I, but I remember reading.
Hori's lying. He loves K-pop. He followed BTS on tour all last year.
But the fact that they did music, it's a comic book film. They can be done with the planet ideas, and like Park June is his name, not
Park Seo-joon.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing he's an actor. Oh wait, no, he does have some songs on here.
Maybe he's just
cool.
an actor.
I think
I don't know.
by the looks of it, he's like a I don't know what it's called, but it's like Korean's equivalent of Bollywood.
Possibly.
I feel like he's like big over, so he does like a lot of musical stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. I know people were very excited for him to be in it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's one of them things that I would never have said I want in a film, but I really enjoyed it. It was good.
I also really enjoyed the fact that like Carol was just like, oh yes, there's this weird like culture thing, didn't let on, and then the other two are just like everyone else is just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is amazing. You know she's gonna get rinsed for that.
Especially because like out of the three of them,
yeah,
Carol seems the most like a little bit uptight and wouldn't be down for something like this. Whereas Kamala instantly was like, yeah, this is my shit.
Yeah, Kamala's just dancing and she's like, dancing. Come on, why is no one else dancing? And Carol's like, I am. And then she actually dances because it's just like all a ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Very, very good. But we do need to talk about
the post-credit scene.
There is only one post-credit scene, but there's actually two because it's weird.
Yeah.
Because you have the scene right at the end, and then you have a post-credit scene. Traditionally, they would have both been post-credit scenes.
True.
So, you have obviously at the end of the main story, Monica closes up the hole in universes, and she gets trapped on the other side, and she's presumed dead. But they don't make a big enough deal out of it for us to believe she's actually dead.
We knew that she was just trapped in another world.
Yeah. And then they're sat in a plane, and Kamala goes, I need your help with something. And I just know Aman had so much fun doing this scene.
Yeah.
So we get a little silhouette in the doorway that looks like a person with maybe a bow and arrow on their back. Then the door opens and it cuts to a Labrador.
Yeah.
And a bit of pizza lands in front of it.
Yeah.
At which point, I just want everyone to know this. Jenna is sat next to me. She grabs my arm and gasps. in the most I know that dog way ever. It was so funny.
I straight away picked up on it.
And then obviously she walks in and we're like, oh cool, it's Hawkeye, it's Kate Bishop.
Hawkeye, yeah.
And then Kamala doing her best Nick Fury impersonation.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
In the shadows.
I was like, oh shit, is Nick Fury gonna do some stuff again? And then I realized it's Kamala, and it's like, so it's just, her inner self was like, I'm doing the Nick Fury thing. Let's go. Like, just so excited to get to do that thing.
It's the bouncing between I'm going to be all serious and intimidating like Nick, but I am still Kamala, so like I'm very anxious and self-conscious about this. So like I want you on the team, please.
Yeah, please.
It's like, do you know how to get into contact with Ant-Man's daughter? Just like stuff like that. It's so funny. Obviously, setting up the Young Avengers.
Yes. Yeah.
I love though, because I can just imagine when Aman read the script for that scene, she's probably really excited to get to work with Hayley because they're more similar ages, and she knows that's probably a character eventually she'll interact with a lot. She's like, wait, I get to be Kamala pretending to be Nick Fury. This is going to be so much fun.
I'd love if it comes out that that was originally going to be Nick,
And
like,
she's like, let me do
yeah,
it, let me do it,
Samuel,
let me do
and then she's like, I have this really fun idea. I do it as if I am Nick Fury.
Because I love the idea, especially when she said that she found the tablet underneath her couch at
Yeah.
home. I love the idea that they don't know she's gone to do this. And she was like, I loved being part of a team. I would like to form my own team. And then she finds it, and she's like, young heroes in my area.
Wait, that actually might not be a bad shot. Like, what if she hasn't done this? She's just gonna rock up to Nick and be like, "So, I've put together a team, funders."
Because let's be clear, we have Scar
Hmm.
from the end of She Hulk.
Yeah.
We have Cassie. We
Hmm.
have Haley. We
Hmm.
have Kamala. That's a solid team already.
Hmm.
Where you only maybe need two more people. We've already got forget his name from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, um Vietnam Captain
Oh,
America's grandson.
yeah.
Yeah. And we've already been teased about Wanda's boys that could come in after the
Yeah.
multiversal stuff. You've got a solid roster there ready to go.
Yeah. You have.
And I love the idea of Nick Fury very late on finding out about it, but having to pretend he knew all along because he can't believe he didn't know this was happening. So he's like,
Yeah.
I have to convince them I knew all along and let them get away with it.
Also, love the idea of he already struggled enough controlling the Avengers. The pain he's going to go through trying to order around and control young Avengers, I can just see the
Comedy.
frustration now.
100%. Um,
That would be so funny.
and then we got
The post credit scene.
might be. I'm just thinking quickly.
Okay.
It might be one of the most credit scene for me personally. I'm trying to think of another one that is on that level of oh shit. There will be some others, but I
The
can't think of any off the top of my head.
the only ones I can kind of think, like, the only other big post credit scene moments is like when Thanos finally got like revealed.
Yeah, but the thing for me is that was before I really got into knowing everything, so I didn't even think much of that at the time.
True. Um I'm trying to.
Oh, the only other one up there would have been Guardians 2 where they teased Adam Warlock. That would have been right up there.
Yeah.
But they're like it's definitely one of the biggest. So Monica wakes up in a hospital bed
Yeah. And we're like, oh
with
shit, she's been out of it.
yeah, with Maria right next to her.
Hmm.
So instantly she's like, "Mum, what are you doing here?" And Maria looks at her like,
What
"Why'd you
the
call me
fuck?
mum, you fucking weirdo?"
Yep.
And she's like, "It's okay, calm down, calm down. The doctor will be in a minute." And I haven't even like started thinking anything crazy yet. I'm like, what is
My
going on
head
here?
is like, oh, she's the timeline world that she ended up in is one where her mum.
Yeah, and like the hospital looks quite advanced. Maybe it's one where they fixed the cancer and her mum survived.
Well, I was more thinking, oh, is this the one where her mum is Captain Marvel instead?
Well, no, because she's dead. They all died in that universe. Sorry, multiverse of madness.
No, and
Oh, do you mean just like another one where
yeah,
she is? Okay, cool. Um, and then the white coat kind of glances in the background. I'm like, oh, I wonder who this is. And then we pan away, and I see the blue fur, and I
yeah.
literally, you know me, I'm very big on like in a cinema, you've got to be respectful. Even I like gasped louder than I'd like to admit. And like, I was like, oh my, oh, it's the motherfucking beast.
I was like, no fucking way, no way.
And is not only is it Beast, it is
Mm,
Beast who played Beast in the original Fox trilogy.
Which,
Um,
when you told me this, I was like, "Holy shit!" That's why it
that's
sounded
what.
like just. It's why it's like I
That's why it
saw
felt
it.
so familiar.
Yeah, I was like, it's Beast. Like my brain obviously
Yeah,
went straight back to. It. I'm like, we're in X Men.
yeah.
Holy
We
shit,
we
we're in
were
X Men.
we were we were there and we were ready to cook. Um, it was so good just to see him there. The CGI they did on him instead of all practical was, I think, really solid.
Yeah, I think it was as well.
Um, instantly he was like setting up what was going on. He's like, we would like you to tell us what the fuck happened here. Um,
I
because
like.
you've kind of come from nowhere and we think you're from a different universe.
I also like how Monica's mom was like Marie. Is it? Her mom's called
Yeah, Murray.
Marie. Is like she seems confused, and he's like, "Well, confusion leads to answers," and it's like so. It would seem you came through a rift in time and space and got trapped here, which shouldn't be allowed. Then he mentions Charles, uh, and then obviously he mentions Marie is called Binary.
Yeah.
And then we also get the pan out a bit, and it shows the X Men bunker door.
The OG, like, I was in my childhood when I saw that door.
Yeah, and something I noticed online that someone pointed out is Beast has the like purpley blue shorts on with the yellow like this is
He's got a proper X-Men costume on.
hmm who else has proper X-Men costumes on?
Oh yeah. Gentle reminder for anyone in the audience: Deadpool 3 is the next MCU movie.
Hmm.
If
And
only we'd seen
both
someone from that
characters.
in a comic book
Mm.
accurate X-Men costume. Crazy.
Would you know what's wild? This is what Kevin meant about we were going to see X-Men sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
But I did not expect it at the end of the Marvels. And I'm all for us now kind of witnessing a parallel timeline going on of in the X-Men world and in our MCU world to allow them to set up characters in both
Yeah.
towards Secret Wars.
Towards the incursions, giving us one universe,
Yeah.
100%. Um, so binary. I did a little bit of research. Not a full
Okay.
character profile, just a little tidbit. Because I was like, I wonder if this is important. I don't know this name. Let me do some googling.
Mm-hmm.
So binary in the comics
Mm.
is a pure energy form of Carol Danvers who becomes sentient,
Oh.
but is non-verbal. So the character is clearly very, very different.
Yeah.
They've taken someone who is related to Carol Danvers, and then
Yeah.
they've completely changed everything else because she was communicating. She
Yeah.
wasn't pure energy, but very interesting that they still chose binary.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
cool.
I'm I'm so excited. I did not expect to see such an obvious X-Men reference there and
No.
then, especially after the Young Avengers tease.
Yeah. We've just
I've
had
never
like
been
two
so
big
excited.
setups essentially.
Huge. I've been waiting for the Young Avengers
So
for so long.
yeah, we've known it's coming.
Yeah, it had to be coming. Um, and now I'm so hyped it is. And the best is because we're gonna have Young Avengers soon. We're gonna get to see Spider-Man be an established hero with more experience than a lot of the Avengers, because they obviously can't be the Young
Mm.
Avengers forever. Eventually, they
Mm-hmm.
become the Avengers, and you're gonna have a Spider-Man who doesn't work with the Avengers anymore, like Spider-Man shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
really. Um, and he's gonna have more experience, so they don't talk down to him anytime they interact, and it's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
great.
It's I'm so excited for X-Men.
Yeah, I know. Literally 2 weeks ago, we were like, "It's so Jova," but we are back, baby.
Honestly, that Loki finale and the setup
Straight
from
into
the
the Marvels.
Marvels,
Um,
it's very
yeah,
cool.
just a couple bits more factual to talk about the Marvels real quick. A lot
Mm.
of people are saying it bombed.
Mm.
Financially, it's the worst start to an MCU movie. There are several very large mitigating factors people need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
this is the only Marvel project that has not been able to do any publicity due to strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it might be Marvel's worst ever opening. It's still a record opening, though. It is the largest ever opening for a film with a black female director.
There we go.
So,
yeah, I think
I
people
still liked
just
it. We need to
it's
accept that Marvel isn't in its peak anymore. But
yeah, and
this guy sounds so cringe, but it's the only way I can think to describe it.
okay.
Fortnite is not in its peak anymore.
Mm,
It doesn't mean that it's still not one of the biggest games in the world, though.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
Marvel isn't going out there and dominating the box office every single month anymore. But guess what? It's still making money.
that's what people like. Marvel, it's not gonna be able to sustain this idea of breaking records every time it drops a new film, especially when like Endgame was like this incredible. Like, you're not gonna always be a record breaker, but it doesn't mean it's like terrible. So yeah,
Exactly.
there's one thing I've just thought of as we were talking about like
Go on.
multiverse stuff at the end. I kind of wish we'd got some sort of thing at the end as it like got, I don't know, some hint of green with like the multiverse thing to show that, oh, we're in Loki's world now.
And any time something happens in a Marvel movie now, Hori's gonna be like, I just wish there was a tint of green so that we know Loki's
Well,
watching.
any multiverse stuff I think should move away from purple and now be green.
I just wish Tom Hiddleston was sat next to me in the cinema so that I know Loki's watching with me.
He is the Watcher.
No, I do get what you're saying. It would have been really fun. Also, shout out to Tom Hiddleston, his wife. His wife played, I forget her name, the big bad of the Marvels.
Oh,
So they dominated Marvel's Friday.
yeah. There you
It was
go.
them. It was them and just them.
Was their week?